In appreciation of Kathleen Edwards on this Sonic Obsession. Hello, folks. Right over there is Steve McLeod. He was going to get a haircut tonight. I got a haircut last night.
So, which hair?
Well, exactly. That's what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's trying to be funny. But today on this Sonic Obsession, we are going to talk about one of our favorite Canadian artists. Her name is Kathleen Edwards, and we recently saw her live, both of us for the first time, at the Lighthouse Arts Centre here in Halifax. And I believe she said it was the first time she played in Halifax since 2012. She did play a show or two just at a small community outside of Halifax last year for about 45 minutes, I think she said. But as far as right in the city at a venue, it was her first show, I believe, since 2012. Anyway, both of us thought it was a tremendous show. She's got a very strong stage presence. She just kind of captivates you from the get-go, right?
Well, I happen to think she is the best songwriter in Canada today, of a modern artist today. So I've always loved her right from the beginning. So to finally see her was tremendous. She always has great bands.
Very good band, yeah.
Great guitar players for some reason.
Well, that's the other, okay, we'll probably get to that in a minute. Yeah, very good guitar players.
Yeah, and it was wonderful to finally see her because I love her music.
Well, I do too, and I think I get into Failure. That was her first album years ago. You've got a copy right there.
2002. It was her debut. Just a sort of a rustic-looking cover here of a car and
it's an old truck or something, isn't
on
it?
A farmer's field or farm road or something.
Yeah. Anyway, I really liked that album when it first came out years ago, and then she kind of fell off the radar a little bit. She put out a couple more CDs, and I would listen to that from time to time and really like it. Steve's got a couple of them here.
Voyager from 2012. This was produced by Justin Vernon of Bon Iver Fair. Back to Me, which I think was her second album in 2004. And Asking for Flowers in 2008. That's not all her albums. I think there's one other studio album.
Well, there's this album.
Oh, yes,
well, this was her, I guess you could say, her comeback album because she quit music for a while, but we'll get there in a couple of minutes as well.
Yeah.
And that is called Total Freedom.
And there's the Billionaire album, which came out last year.
Which was was that your favorite album of the year?
That was my favorite album of 2025. Just a fantastic record, I think. But all her albums are fantastic. We're quibbling over, I think All Music gave that 4.5 stars, and all our other albums are 4 stars. So you're quibbling over very small gradients of excellence.
Yeah, they're very, very strong albums, every one of them. I guess I have listened to all of them over time, but I guess probably my two favorite would be Failure, the first one, and Billionaire.
Yeah,
the latest one, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, Failure really launched her career with a bang. I mean, it got critical raves in a lot of places. In America, in particular, Rolling Stone raved about it. Other places, England, the various publications, and she began appearing on shows like David Letterman. And
but that's when Failure came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she did an Austin City Limits performance. I think from 2005, which I'm going to post a link to that because it is, if you don't know her, this will give you a good idea of what she's like, the kind of music she makes, and in particular, this incredible guitar player that she had back then, Colin Cripps, who was in her original band, and they ended up marrying, and they were married for a decade or so before splitting up, and he's since left the band and now plays for Blue Rodeo.
Yeah, he's an incredible guitar player. One of these, I think if you ever saw Colin Cripps play, you'd say, well, what a fantastic guitar player. Probably not a household name, of course, as a lot of musicians aren't when they're not out on their own. He does have a solo album out, but basically he's known from his days playing with her, and of course now with playing with Blue Rodeo.
Yeah, very gritty, sort of atmospheric kind of player, which I like, much in the same of a Buddy Miller or somebody like that, if you know who Buddy Miller is, the American player. he's just a fantastic guitar player.
And you're right, that Austin City Limits show is it's a barn burner of a show, actually. Yeah. But it's much like what we just saw a couple of weeks ago. Just a really tight band. You can tell there's a lot of respect. There's a lot of love, I guess, on the stage, because she's very respectful to the band members. Gives them a little bit of a stage of their own kind of thing. It puts them in the spotlight a little bit. The guitar player she has now, she mentioned him a couple times during the show. Gord Tuff is his name, and he is one hell of a guitar player.
Yeah, he's similar to Cripps, I find.
Yeah, and I never heard the name before. Have you?
No, I haven't. I don't know where he's from or anything. No.
Well, when I was watching the show, I was like, who's this guitar player? And she mentioned him. And as I say, I have no idea what his past is or anything like that. But everybody else in the band is fantastic as well. So she's got a really strong band. She's got a hell of a presence on stage and a good rapport with the audience. And all of the tunes that she played that I was familiar with, they're better, I guess, live than in the studio. They get that extra bang, that you get sometimes when you're playing live. Some artists can do it, some artists can't. She does it, and I give her 5 stars for taking stuff from albums and putting it on stage.
Well, at this point, she has had a very good, deep catalog of songs, and quality songs as well. And that show she's currently on a North American tour right now. If you get a chance to see her, we would both recommend that you go see her.
Yeah, she's playing Massey Hall soon. It might be in September. I'd love to be able to go to Massey Hall.
I'd like to see her in that venue, because I would imagine she'd throw out all the stops for that. We should say she's from Ottawa. She grew up in Ottawa. She
traveled around a bit because her father was a diplomat.
Her father was a diplomat, in foreign affairs.
Yeah, I think it's Korea and Switzerland she lived in when she was a kid.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say she's the only artist that I met her father before I saw her live, or I actually worked in the same circle as her father. The only artist I can say that about, because in 1995, the G7 summit was held here in Halifax, and he was the federal rep appointed by Jean Chrétien, the prime minister at the time. He basically ran the show for the feds when they were putting the summit together. His name is Len Edwards. I believe he's retired now, but he had quite a career in the diplomacy and with foreign affairs in Canada, and she traveled around a lot as well.
Yeah. So she starts making music and then records Failure in 2002, and a number of albums came out in steady succession. But she became burned out from touring and everything that it takes to promote your records. And for most artists today, it can be a bit of a slog. And she decided to retire from the music business, and she opened a coffee shop in Stittsville, Ontario, which is just outside of Ottawa, called Quitter's Coffee. She has a good sense of humor, and
she has a great sense of humor. That comes across during the live show as well.
And then she slowly got back into music. I think in 2018, Maren Morris, the country singer, invited her to Nashville for some co-writing sessions, and she started dabbling into music again. And she quit Quitter's Coffee and is back full-time as a musician. And I think it's so wonderful that she is back.
Oh, I am too. I welcome her with open arms. So she quit music, opened Quitters, then quit Quitters, and went back to music. And that's what I said earlier. Like this is her comeback album.
Yeah, her
Total Freedom.
It should have been called Quitter's Comeback or something.
Quitter's Comeback, something like that.
Yeah, Quitters always come back. Let's talk a little bit about Billionaire. I just think that is a fantastic record. Now, you bought it from her merch table at the concert.
I did, because you had given me a download.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the download, MP3. But anyway, she had this for sale and a couple of other things, so I bought that. She did have an album there that I hadn't seen before, and I'm kind of kicking my ass that I didn't get it, called Covers.
Covers, yeah. It's just an album of cover songs that came out.
And it's really good. Yeah. And I listened to most of it, yeah.
She has songs like by Tom Petty and people like that, right?
Tom Petty, she does a Tom Petty song, and the rest of it kind of escapes me right now because I just listened to it very quickly online, and it's a hard album to come by or to get a hold of. But it's just her. I think in all the songs, it's just her and a guitar.
Is that
I don't
right?
think there's any other involvement. But I'm kind of, as I said, kicking my butt. I didn't get it because I think it would be a really good listen. So what I've heard is a very good listen.
So you like Billionaire?
I think Billionaire is great. I don't know if it'd be my number one, but it would be in my top 5 list.
What's your favorite song on it?
Ooh,
Because I have a definite favorite.
I'm not sure.
Sure, can you
I'm
even see
trying
the
to-
list here? We should say that this album was co-produced by
Jason Isbell.
Jason
Right.
Isbell, and he plays guitar all over this album, as do and a lot of our backing band are members of his band, the 400 Unit.
Yeah, his bass player is on the album. Forget her name right now. The drummer Chad Gamble is on the album as well. I don't know. I might go with "Save Your Soul," the first track on side A.
Mine is "Need a Ride," which is
Okay.
one of her more political album or songs that I've heard in her career. It reminds me a lot. She was a fan of Neil, or is a fan of Neil Young, and she grew up listening to Neil Young records that her brother owned in his collection. And I find that song has a kinship to Neil Young, and in particular Cortez the Killer. It doesn't sound like Cortez the Killer, but it does share, great guitar and throughout the song, and yeah, I just think it's a fantastic song.
Well, she ended the show with Powderfinger.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
a nod to Neil. Anyway, some of the other people that play on it. The bass is Anna Botteris. That's Jason Isbell's bass, and Chad Gamble, as I said, on drums. And Isbell, of course, plays guitar on it. Oh, yes, I know one thing I wanted to mention. The background vocals on a couple of tracks,
Yes.
Shelby Lynn and Allison Moorer, who
Yeah.
are actually sisters, as a lot of you may know. So she's got some really good people on this album. And as Steve mentioned, it was co-produced by Jason Isbell and someone that
a female, a woman,
Gina Johnson.
I don't know who. I don't
or
know that.
Gina. There's a pronunciation
Yeah,
in the.
Gena. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know that name at all.
She does a lot of work apparently in Nashville, and Edwards has spoken very highly of her. There is you look at it, you think it's Gina, but I think it's something like Gina or something like that. I'm not quite sure the pronunciation.
Yeah. Kathleen Edwards is kind of lumped a lot in that Americana genre of writing, and there is a folky element to her, but she also there is very much so a heartland rocker element to her songs.
I do. I think
she
so,
loves
yeah.
guitar. If you love rock music, she makes great rock music.
Well, that's true. Now, recently, this magazine came out, and it's from Uncut Magazine, and it's the 200 greatest Americana albums, and she made the list, and it is for Failure, and I just get there real quick. I'll just read a couple of things, what they say about it.
It's listed as 126.
It's number 126. This sounds accordingly unglamorous 10 songs about drinking, bad decisions, and people barely holding it together. 6 o'clock news and hockey skates show how much emotion Edwards could wring from plain language. So anyway, 126 on this list. I think that's a great nod to her. I have a trouble with this list, to be honest with you. But that's a show for another day, or a discussion for another day, because there's stuff on here I don't think should be on the list, and there's
maybe we should do a show on that.
Yeah, there's songs or there's albums on there that should be there, I think, but aren't. But anyway, it's great to see that she made the list, number 126.
And I think
just before her is the Weather Station.
Yeah.
Another Canadian act. And anyway, it's a really nice nod to Kathleen Edwards.
I mean, I think, of all her albums, Failure is probably the closest one to Americana.
I think so, yeah.
It's more folky and more acoustic than her other albums. But if you've never heard Kathleen Edwards, we would both encourage you to give her a shot.
And if you haven't seen her live, go see her live. I've seen a lot of live acts in the past couple of months, and it's right in there with a lot of the shows that I saw. Just a tremendous singer-songwriter. She's a really good guitar player on her own,
Yeah.
but she has one hell of a band with her right now. But as Steve pointed out and we discussed, she's always had great bands, especially the guitar players. They really stand out. And anyway, just go see her if you have the opportunity. I do know she's playing Massey Hall soon. And I'm also very envious of her hair. I have to throw that in because I used to have red hair,
Yes.
and it was really curly.
Yeah.
And hers is down to about her shoulders. Mine used to be down to my shoulders and very curly. So I'm watching the show going, damn, if I only had hair like that again.
Gingers rule, eh?
And that's the other thing. Gingers do rule. So anyway, folks, that is our appreciation of Kathleen Edwards. Pick up one of her albums if you haven't listened to her. And if you have the opportunity, go see her live. You're going to have a hell of a night. So thank you for watching this Sonic Obsession.